That's right, ladies and gentlemen. So today we are talking Gus Malzahn. So Gus Malzahn is a very controversial figure. He's the Auburn coach. He seems to have his job on the line every single year, and every single game seems like it's must-win for him this season. So let's kind of take it back from where it started. Gus Malzahn took over a winless Auburn and has now turned it into a nice, stable program for the most part. But there's been an analogy that's been kind of eating at me all day. And I've been reading these articles about, is this Gus Malzahn's last year? Is he the right man for the job? And I just had to give my opinion on it. So Gus Malzahn and Nick Saban. This analogy can work for Alabama and Auburn, or Nick Saban and Gus Malzahn. Auburn and Gus Malzahn are like the little brother to the big brother obviously being Alabama and Nick Saban. So the big brother's the family's favorite. He gets first choice on which food to eat. He bullies you into giving his extras, while the little brother just gets the scraps. The older brother gets the attention. He gets to be on all the workout equipment, while the little brother gets the 1 pound weights and only gets 5 minutes to lift weights. So basically, the older brother has it great. The parents pay all the attention to him. He's the king of the house. Gets the right amount of nutrition. Gets the first choice on food, workout equipment, TV, basically anything he wants, he gets first choice on, while the second brother gets the scraps for food, gets the crappy little weights, and they still expect the little brother to be in the same shape as the big brother. And sometimes, like once every 4 years, he will be in the same shape as the big brother, but for the most part, the big brother is more dominant. But the little brother isn't exactly a slouch. So the little brother can hold his own against the big brother. And this is kind of a great analogy, I feel like, for these two, because Nick Saban gets whatever he wants. He's the king of Alabama football. He plucks out five-star recruits from wherever and whenever he wants, whether it's California, Florida, Texas, Georgia, Carolinas, or Alabama. Nick Saban gets what he wants, when he wants, however he wants. While Gus Malzahn is just kind of left to pick up the scraps, because if you're asking who you want to go to, work for Nick Saban in Alabama or Gus Malzahn in Auburn, obviously people are going to say Alabama. But Gus Malzahn has found a way to somehow pick up the scraps and consistently put a top 10 recruiting class together. Now, Gus Malzahn, I feel like has done an actually pretty good job at Auburn, but this isn't going to be a bash Auburn fan segment. This is just going to be I'm just going to go into a little detail right here. Auburn fans, you expect Auburn to be on the same level as Alabama. Once Nick Saban's gone, you are perfectly right to think that. But you cannot possibly compete with your biggest rival in Alabama when they have the greatest coach of all time that gets top recruiting class every single year and gets first pick, gets to pluck whatever players he wants from whatever state he wants, whenever he wants it. He has complete control. He asks, he gets. While Gus Malzahn is stuck trying to pick up scraps, and try to piece together and glue together this recruiting class, and he continues to put together an elite recruiting class, a top 10, top 8 or 7 recruiting class year after year after year, which is remarkable to me. Now, you need to accept the fact that until Nick Saban retires, it's not going to get any better. You're not going to find anybody better than Gus Malzahn. The buyout's huge on him. It's somewhere over $10 million. I don't remember the exact number, but I'm pretty sure it's over $10 million. So let's say you get your buyout. There's no top coaches right now that I think you would go after. Maybe Urban Meyer, but I can assure you he's not going to Auburn. He's not stepping back into the SEC. Especially not if he's going to be the little brother to Nick Saban for the next 5 years. And Urban Meyer's going to go to a place where he can ask and he can get like USC or Florida State. More likely USC. I think that Gus Malzahn has the hardest job in America. And I think he's actually underrated. So many Auburn fans and just people in general call him overrated. And I'm going to stand up for him here. I'm going to say that Gus Malzahn is the right man for the job. So let's go through kind of his history at Auburn. He takes over a winless conference play Auburn team in 2012, First year, 2013, catches lightning in a bottle with Nick Marshall. He was playing with basically another guy's team. Another guy got the recruiting and the players in the market for him, and Gus Malzahn just had to kind of figure out where they fit, and he actually pieced together a national championship caliber team. It was the Miracle year, the Miracle and Jordan Hare, I think what it was called, Prayer and Jordan Hare. That was the Georgia one, I believe, when he caught it without even basically seeing it. And then they got the kick six against Alabama. It was, again, a lightning in a bottle year, not only with Nick Marshall, but those two crazy plays that basically put them in the national title. They got lucky against Missouri. They got a really weak Missouri team, ran all over them, got placed in the national title game, came within minutes of winning that game, and unfortunately Jameis Winston had other plans. Went down, scores a touchdown, they lose. All right. Nobody really expected them to have the year that they did, so all the hype surrounding was, well, if Gus Malzahn can do that with a winless conference team, imagine what he can do after nearly winning the national title. So the hype was real. They go back next year. They lose to Georgia, lose to Alabama, have a little bit of a down year. They go 8-5, still make a bowl game, still not bad, still finish in the top 25, finish number 22. It's a down year for what people expected, kind of disappointing year, but people are still clinging on to hope for what he did in his first year, and why would you not? I mean, going to a national title game and getting very close to winning it, I think kind of overrides his kind of disappointing second season. So the hype is still there for Gus Malzahn at this point. In 2015, it's a rough season, can't really get his offense going. He goes 7-6, still winning record, makes a bowl game, doesn't finish in the top 25 for his first time. So here's where people start getting kind of mandatory. He needs to start winning. Comes back in 2016 again, the offensive struggles. He still does end up with an 8-5 record in total, finishes in the top 25, number 24. Again, not the dream scenario, but still top 25, 8-5, it's all right. And then Gus Malzahn has another miracle year. He goes 10-4, finishes at number 10, wins the SEC West after beating two number 1 teams in 3 weeks, Georgia and Alabama. Here's the thing that you'll notice. In every single one of Auburn's amazing years, they beat both Georgia and Alabama. So he makes the SEC championship, loses in the rematch against Georgia, and then loses against UCF. So kind of a heartbreaking loss to the end, but still the hype is real again. They are retaining Jarrett Stidham, but they lose Kerryon Johnson, who is kind of the face of that offense. Come back next year, go 8-5. End off the year on a high note, though, blowing out Purdue. And then it seems like Gus Malzahn is kind of taking this program by the handles and really making it his own. He's starting calling the plays, and Gus Malzahn knows he's in a bad spot. He knows this could be his last year, and he's saying, if I'm going down, I'm going down because this was my team and I could not get it done. He's not going down because his coordinator wasn't able to get it done. So he's calling the plays, he's taking over the program. This will be Gus Malzahn's program this year. So, I think Gus Malzahn is the right guy for the job. You won't be able to find many coaches better than him, and even if you do find one better than him, they're not going to be much better, first of all, because Gus Malzahn's a great coach, as his past records have shown. And two, they won't be able to do anything. And here's where we kind of transition into the schedule. All right. So you look for the future. Alabama, obviously a tough game. Texas A&M, of course. Texas A&M's on the rise. LSU, same thing. They're both on the rise, so that's obviously 3 tough games already. 3 top 15 programs. LSU's top 10 program. Alabama's arguably the top program. Texas A&M, I believe, will be a top 10, top 5 program in a couple years. And right now they're probably a top 15 program. They obviously face Georgia every year as their cross-division rival, which is arguably the best team in the East. I think definitely the best team in the East right now, and will be for a little while. Their only competition really over there is Florida. And unless Florida gets a little bit better at recruiting, Georgia will be the kings over there. So Auburn faces 4 top 15 teams, and they always seem to have a tough week 1 schedule. Last year it was Washington. This year it's Oregon. They faced Penn State, I think, in 2021 and 2022. So Auburn always has an extremely difficult schedule. This year they face Florida and Georgia for their cross-divisional rivals. Arguably the toughest schedule any coach has to face. The only schedule I think could be tougher is South Carolina's. And South Carolina and Auburn's schedules are both ridiculous. So if I'm going to give my 2 cents worth, I think Gus Malzahn is the right guy for the job. He provides winning seasons. He has had a winning season in all 6 years he's been here. And whenever you consider the tough schedule he has to go through and the impossible recruiting challenges that he faces and still continues to make a top 10 recruiting class year after year, is truly remarkable. That's why I think Gus Malzahn is the right guy for the job. Put in your 2 cents worth down in the comments below. If you disagree with me or agree with me, please comment down below. Have an amazing day, guys. Oh, and by the way, I'm kind of scrapping the 2-week thing. I'm just kind of posting what I want. I'm still going to do the schedule previews. I'm still going to post consistently. I don't know what you guys think I'm going to stop posting. It's just not going to be an organized format. I'll still be doing schedule previews, not for a specific conference. We're just going to spread them out. And I'm just going to do a lot more of these discussion type videos. So if you guys want me to do that or switch back to the 2 weeks thing per conference, please let me know. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have an amazing day, guys, and peace.